Here's a quick video to demonstrate whether or not the World War II 60mm M49A2 round can be used as an anti-personnel round by slamming it against a hard surface. I'm going to begin the video by showing all the parts. There's the tail fin assembly. I'm using a very rusty old tail fin assembly to keep from damaging a collectible tail fin assembly. Here's the shell body, of course. There's the M52 fuse body and all the internal components. I'm going to show, for the sake of this video, it being assembled so that everybody knows that it works. This is a 1953, I think, dated fuse. Yeah, 1053. There's the striker is in place, and you can see here that there's the firing pin, so it's ready to go. And I'm going to first thing I'm going to do is assemble the safety bar into place with the setback spring and pin. I'm gonna have to do this off camera, but anyway, you have to insert the safety striker or the safety bar into this this hole here with the hole facing down, and then insert the setback spring and pin into that bottom hole. Holes are aligned, and now we have to insert the setback pin and spring are installed. You see it retains the safety bar, and now we'll install the safety retainer. The safety retainer pin is installed, which prevents the setback pin from moving. Now we'll install the slider spring and slider cap. The slider has a slot in the bottom which fits into a pin, which is probably pretty hard to see at this point. At the bottom of the fuse to keep it from rotating. It goes in just like this and is kept in the unarmed position by the slider bar or the safety pin. The slider spring and slider spring cap. Slider spring and slider spring cap are installed. The fuse is pretty much ready to go, aside from the safety retainer cap, which I'm about to install now, which is this piece. Once that's in place, then the booster cup goes on. Now the M52 fuse assembly is complete, as it would be, of course, minus all of the components that make it go boom, which obviously are not here. This goes into the front of the M49A2 round. Like so. Then the tail fin assembly. This is obviously inert. Still got the original Charge 0 primer cup installed. Of course, it's been fired. You can see daylight through it. Anyway, interesting note: the way the mortar tube is designed, and the way the firing pin assembly and the mortar tube is designed, and the tail fin assembly, you can see that the fins cause the primer assembly here to be recessed relative to the surface of the primer cup. So a simple drop on the bottom of the round once the tail fin assembly is installed, which I'll attempt to do now. Sorry. As you can see, the primer is recessed relative to the fin, so a simple smack on the fins will not detonate charge 0, which is a good thing if it's in your hand. Therefore, it won't blow your fingers off. So that adds credit to the story of being able to take one of these and smack it on something hard and have it arm. Next step, I'm going to place the complete M49A2 round into a Ziploc bag to keep from losing the striker, the safety bar and spring, and I'll give it a test. The round is inside the Ziploc bag. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the safety clip, and I will now attempt to slam the completed round against a hard surface, which will arm it much the same way that it would be when it's fired in its intended configuration, which should release this safety plunger, allowing the striker underneath this cap to slide over into the armed position. Then once thrown and impacted on the ground properly, which it would have to come into a pretty high angle of impact to compress the striker hard enough to set off the tetral booster charge. Okay, the round's all sealed up in a Ziploc bag to retain all the parts. This is a concrete floor, and here goes the first test. I want to slam this round into the concrete, and we'll see if it will release the safety bar, which will effectively arm the round. Alright, that first try didn't do it. Let's try it a little bit harder. Still didn't do it. Give it one more try. And there you have it. It takes quite a firm smack, but it is possible to do this and have the safety bar released and effectively arming the round. Now the striker will depress all the way, and I'll do another quick clip here to show you that the slider is in the arm round. Fresh out of the bag, I'm going to dump the safety bar and spring out, unscrew the fuse, take the booster cup off, and as you can see, you should be able to get the camera to focus, the primer bore now lines up with the striker. You can see it moving in there, hopefully, and you see it depresses all the way. So in order to get this to work, you got to slam the absolute hell out of it. As you can see, my hand slipped, and one of the fins got me pretty good. But anyway, it is possible. Then you have to throw the round properly. Have to question whether it would stabilize in order for this, for it to impact the ground at a proper angle so that it would strike hard enough for the round to compress the striker in a manner which would detonate the primer compound, which would set off the booster, and then of course detonate the actual round. It's not impossible. It's very much possible. Practical, probably not. Was it done? There are accounts of it being done, and I don't doubt it. But there you go. So, Saving Private Ryan, that's one thing you got right.